Hi, I'm T-Roll. Welcome to T-Roll Reviews. A very strange thing happened to me recently. I was walking downtown and ran into a friend of mine, and he started talking about my necklace, and then he said, "Hey man, that's not a necklace, that's a butter knife." So one day, I was making a rice cracker for my mom, and she put down her glass of absinthe and she said, "T-Roll, that's not a butter knife, that's a super high-end synthesizer." So I got it up in the studio, I popped a couple of the rivets off there, and I turned around to have a look. Bonanza wow! Turns out my mom was right. 100% fully analog, high-end, super boutique synthesizer. It's called the Oberheim Drumulator, and it was the very first gluten-free app developed for the iPad back in 1977. The manufacturers designed this thing to be mounted in the rack so that all the connections, all the audio, all the MIDI, all of the power, all of the SPDIF, everything comes in and out of the front panel. Okay? This is actually called doggy style rack mounting. It was invented by the drummer for Bon Jovi. And the reason they do this is it gives you maximum audio quality, really very realistic. The audio literally comes straight out of the synthesizer and into your face, okay? And the other reason they do this is from a performance standpoint, just a practical aspect of playing live on stage. Say you're in the middle of a solo, and it's one of those sort of solos where you have to unplug your synthesizer real quick, right in the middle of it, and then plug in another one and keep going with the solo, right? You gotta unplug the synth really quick and plug a different one in, or say you gotta route the main out to one of the sub inputs. So normally you'd need like a couple of technicians, you need a patch bay, you might need a mixer, you might need some kind of a relay system, some kind of a network, okay? With this guy, bam, take out the power, bam, plug in the other synth, and away you go. Okay, so around the back, you've got your standard, I guess what you'd call set and forget controls. These are the kinds of things you're going to want to play with maybe once, maybe twice in the whole time you use the unit. You've got all your main editing parameters here in this grid. You can edit your globals here for like larger settings. You can edit your utilities, so you can maybe change whether you're talking cell phone versus sewer. You can edit your compare, which is really a good feature because say you're playing the synth, you own it for a while, and you want to see if you want to upgrade to a different synth, you just go into compare mode. You can hear a whole bunch of different kinds of synthesizers and see what you want to buy. There's edit the multi, edit your recall, of course, and then one nice thing about this synth, this is a unique feature I've never seen anywhere else, which is most synthesizers allow you to edit the sound parameters to change the sound. This one actually allows you to go in and edit the edit, which is nice. You can edit the store. There's a sound thing. For the standard matrix style editing patch bay that you got here, it uses a standard romance analogy where it's basically saying, okay, you know, are you getting along with the person? How well is it going? So say you're starting to get to know somebody. Say you don't like the person, you want to cut them off, just cut off right there. Say things are going well, say you like the person, maybe you can dial up the resonance here so you can get to know the person better. A lot of people are into the environment these days, so you can impress them here with the environmental controls. Type is sort of more like a personality type, so say you're with someone who's a different personality type, you can dial that in and you could kind of, you know, you can get something going there. Really standard, you know, romance controls, and then of course things are going really well. You know, you get them home, you know, to you by yourself. You know, things are going well. Then you get into your standard, you know, attack, decay, sustain, and release situations. So all good stuff. Not stuff you're going to want to play with too often. You're not really going to want to do much sound changing or anything, or sound editing. You're really going to want to get this guy on the front panel here, and you're going to want to start playing with this thing as soon as possible. Okay, so let's see how this thing actually sounds. So I've got it routed in through an RCA universal adapter here, and what's happening is I'm using the keyboard to actually trigger the sounds on the synthesizer itself. And then I can play with the controls to change the sound. Gives you kind of the feel. And I found that you can actually adjust the filter type button, which is kind of fun. Ooh. Okay, so that was it. I think it sounds pretty amazing. So thanks for tuning in. I'm T-Roll. This has been another T-Roll Reviews.